So let's hurry up and do World of Hurt.
What a wacky episode this was.
Astonishing.
The star of this episode, if that's the right word to use.
Oh, he was a star.
The episode was built around a man named Ravenous Randy.
What's his last name?
I think it was Myers. So, Randy comes in. He's got acid wash jeans. I don't even know how to describe or if he even has a gimmick, but he's got like this blue shirt with a lot of holes in it and a big mohawk. So, Roddy Piper meets him and immediately predicted that he would be in a tower with a rifle someday. You know how you mentioned once
That's what he said, by the way.
Yeah.
He'll be in a tower with a rifle someday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Roddy, he
Myers.
always...
Ravenous Randy Myers. He's on Twitter as Ravenous Randy.
So, you mentioned on an earlier episode how Roddy likes to give his little speeches that have nothing to do with anything. This was the... This was the ultimate example of that.
Hold on a second. I got to read some of these tweets, Vinny. Are you ready?
Sure.
Ravenous Randy here on the 9th of August. If I could be doing anything in the world right now, it would be practicing different suplexes.
That sucks. That's exactly the kind of guy I don't want to wrestle.
Don't see the ranimals. They seem ravenous. Let's see what else we've got here. You can make me close my mouth, but you can't make me close my mind.
So.
My dad is the best, wanna know... My dad is the best, wanna know why? Because he is a vagina.
I'm sorry, what?
My dad is the best. Wanna know why? Because he's a vagina.
So this is the caliber of human being we're dealing with here. So Roddy gathers all the troops around the ring. He gives a speech about heart. Oh, you got to have it, and he's going to find it, and blah, blah, blah. I have no idea what he was talking about. So Ravenous Randy gets in the ring with Dylan to do some work, and Ravenous Randy likes to strut, as we would soon find out. And he's strutting a lot and doing a bunch of wacky dancing at completely random and pointless points in the match. And Piper interrupts, asks him a question, again, direct quote, "What were you trying to get over in that moment?" Finally, he tells him to strut less and fight more. And then we got a monologue from Ravenous Randy saying, "Don't tell me not to strut. That's what I do."
Whitty died of laughter watching him strut.
He had a wacky strut. He just said, just time and place for everything. Michael Hayes didn't do a moonwalk the entire match. So, Piper asks him about his wacky haircut. He's got like a foot-tall mohawk. And he says, "You can do whatever you want as long as you can kick ass." And I don't think you can kick ass. So he sent him to hit the bag to work on his strikes. It was promo time. He had a bunch of goofy catchphrases he had probably written in 8th grade. He wanted to get over in this promo. Piper interrupted him.
And said, "You suck."
Yeah.
And you suck in the ring.
Yes.
That's the first thing he said to him.
Yes.
Ravenous Randy was gobsmacked.
Well, it's not inaccurate.
And Roddy told him to go to that place and start sad and end excited.
Yeah. So, Randy talked about his dad and how his mom would come home one day and told him dad had left. He wasn't going to see him anymore. And
actually, what he said at the moment was he said, "My mom told me daddy's never coming back." And so I concluded that meant that dad had died. But instead, he just left the family.
Yeah. So he starts off talking about this terrible broken home he grew up in and how this feeling of abandonment, and he starts firing up about how he's going to take it out in the world. And
now let me explain this. Let's go back for a second. Ravenous Randy was in the ring earlier, and he was going over his match, and he was randomly busting out this wacky strut, this chicken dance. And he kept doing this chicken strut. And Roddy told him, stop strutting. I'm supposed to believe that you're a fighter. I don't believe that right now. I don't understand the strut. I don't know why you're doing it. And this made Randy very upset. So they go to do the promo, and he cuts a wacky promo, and Roddy says, stop that, and you suck in the ring, and I want you to be very sad, and then I want you to let all of that anger out, and I want you to display it here to the world. So Randy starts out, and he's a tear rolling down his face. He's weeping, talking about his broken family and all of the sadness. And then he starts getting angry, and he starts shouting, and he's passionate. And it's actually turning into this awesome promo. And he's ranting, and he's raving. And all of a sudden, Piper goes, strut!
Oh, Piper said, okay.
And so, in the middle of this serious, angry, passionate part of the promo, he starts strutting. Yes. And Piper goes, strut! And he starts strutting more. And Piper's like, strut! And now he's doing this big strut going, I'm going to kick your ass. And I was like, what in the hell is going on? And then it ends, and Piper's like, nailed it.
Yeah. What Ravenous Randy...
What? Roddy Piper does whatever he does. Always. It doesn't have to make sense. It often doesn't. Roddy Piper just does whatever he feels like in the moment. And in the moment, he all of a sudden just did a total 180 and decided in the middle of what had turned into an awesome, serious, tough guy fighter promo, he wanted this dude to do the chicken dance. And then he praised him.
What Ravenous Randy actually said as he was doing his wacky dance was, and this is, after talking about his terrible childhood and all the pain he's going to take out in the world, he announced, quote, I shake my butt and do my strut.
Yes.
That's what he said. That's another one of his catchphrases that he wrote in 8th grade.
Another catchphrase is he's not the cock of the walk, he's the cock of the hawk, I believe.
It was for his ring intro at least, he's the cock of the walk who rocks the hawk.
That's right. The cock of the walk who rocks the hawk, as in a mohawk. And he shakes his butt. What was the rest of it?
I shake my butt and do my strut.
It's going to be a great drop.
I know. So
I shake my butt, I do my strut.
Oh, Christ. It is a tragedy this man was not in Lance Storm school. That's all I can say.
Maybe he was. I can't confirm he wasn't yet. I'll find out.
Maybe Lance taught him to strut.
I doubt it.
So, now here's the thing.
Lance would have told him, thrust your pelvis more. Wasn't that his gimmick?
Speaking of great drops. So
he had a giant member and he danced.
So
it's Lance's gimmick.
Here's the thing, everyone. This scene we have described, that was not the weirdest, most memorable part of the show. They are in training. They're in the room with the ring and the weights and the heavy bags. And it somehow is just Roddy and Ravenous Randy.
Let me tell how this got set up, by the way. They're supposed to have a meeting, a one-on-one meeting. And Roddy walks in, and there's a giant red crash mat leaning against the wall.
Yes, this is just what I was getting to.
Yeah, but I just gotta tell you what I thought. Roddy comes across this giant, thick red crash mat, and he tips it over, and it falls and smashes onto the ground. And Roddy says, has this always been here? And I, at the moment, presume that he's talking about this crash pad. Perhaps he's going to show this young fella a big bump or a big move, and he wants to utilize this giant red crash pad. But no!
Yeah, so Roddy finds the crash, or he takes the crash pad, he throws it down, it crashes to earth with a mighty thud. Piper calmly, softly asks, "Has this been here the whole time?" And what he had found was a piano.
Yes.
There was a piano in the gym
A piano!
with the weights in the ring, and Roddy asked, "Has this been here the whole time? Or did somebody sneak in a piano?" So then
No, it was not here 5 minutes ago.
Roddy Piper calls ravenous Randy Myers, and Piper starts to softly play the piano as Randy Myers speaks about his childhood trauma.
Yes.
And Randy's on the verge of tears as Piper's playing this tune. And then Piper finishes up. He stands up slowly. And he tells Randy, "I think you need to call your dad." And he walks away. And he's almost about to walk out of the room. And he turns back and says, "Do it, if you choose." He has now turned into Yoda.
Right. Oh, my God.
It's an amazing television program.